gonna be great, Charlie.
I love drinking lean. I love lean, Charlie. I love lean.
Okay, quick thing before we get into this script or video. Why the fuck did it take me 100,000 points, if not a little less, to get both wonder weapons? I was damn near on round 30 when I got the scavenger. I already wanted to quit playing the game. Anyways, some maps build upon what came before, others redefine everything. In April 2011, Call of the Dead arrived, not just as another zombies map, but as an event. Set in the frozen wastelands of Siberia, surrounded by fog, ice, and the echoes of lost experiments, Call of the Dead wasn't just a survival map. It was a movie, a living, breathing, playable horror film directed by Treyarch and a starring cast that nobody saw coming. This is my interpretation of the story of Call of the Dead, the map that turned zombies into cinema. After Ascension's success, the zombies community was buzzing. People expected the next step in the story of Dempsey, Nikolai, Takeo, and Richtofen. But instead, Treyarch did something incredible. They introduced an entirely new cast, a group of famous actors playing themselves. Trapped in a horror film gone wrong, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Robert Englund, Danny Trejo, and Michael Rooker, 4 Hollywood icons, now forced to survive the undead on a frozen film set. I mean, really, they got Freddy Krueger himself to star in this. Machete. Come on. And looming above them was the map and movie's director, the legendary George A. Romero, known as the godfather of zombie cinema. Romero himself appeared as an unstoppable, electrified zombie wielding a massive stage light. It was the ultimate homage, zombies meeting its creator. In the zombies timeline, Call of the Dead takes place after Ascension, but far from the familiar faces. According to the story, the original crew was teleported out of Ascension and became trapped somewhere in time and space. Meanwhile, this new group of unsuspecting actors stumbled onto a set built atop a Soviet research facility that had been experimenting with Element 115. Romero was there to direct a zombie movie inspired by those experiments, but of course, something went horribly wrong. When production started, the undead awoke for real. The film crew was slaughtered and the 4 actors became the only survivors. What made this so special was how self-aware it all was. A zombies map that knew it was a horror movie, blending fiction, parody, and real lore into one surreal experience. Call of the Dead's atmosphere was unlike anything before it. The map opened with a wide open dock covered in snow, waves crashing against the frozen shore, fog rolling in from the sea. The air was cold. You could almost feel it through the screen. It was huge, one of the largest zombies maps in history at the time. Players explored a shipwreck, a lighthouse, frozen caves, and laboratories hidden beneath the ice. Every inch of the environment felt handcrafted. From the sound of wind whistling through broken metal to the crunch of snow under your feet. This was the first zombies map that felt cinematic in scale. It didn't just want to scare you. It wanted to immerse you. And at the center of it all, George A. Romero himself. He wasn't a normal boss zombie. He was persistent, almost invincible, and terrifying. Armed with his massive studio light, he would charge you from anywhere on the map if provoked. Shooting him only enraged him, turning his light blue and sending him sprinting after players with lightning speed. The only way to calm him was to lure him into the water, where he'd cool off and return to a slow walk. But defeating him completely required heavy firepower, and in return, he'd drop a random perk bottle and a death machine, rewarding those brave or stupid enough to challenge the godfather of the undead. His presence fundamentally changed how you played. No more standing still, no more camping. The threat was constant. George was the map. Call of the Dead was massive, vertical, open, and full of risk and reward. The map began at the docks and spiraled upward through ships, frozen cliffs, and the towering lighthouse that served as the map's centerpiece. Each section connected in unpredictable ways. Zip lines, icy ledges, and hidden paths made traversal feel dynamic. The fog limited visibility, making even open spaces claustrophobic. This design forced players to move. No single area was truly safe. The lighthouse itself became a landmark, a guiding light in the storm, and a crucial part of the map's Easter egg. The arsenal in Call of the Dead was one of the most diverse yet. Alongside classics like the AK-74U and ray gun came the map's unique wonder weapon, the Scavenger. It was a bolt-action sniper rifle that fired explosive rounds capable of annihilating entire clusters of zombies. When Pack-a-Punched, it became the Hyena Infra-Dead, one of the most satisfying, powerful, and cinematic weapons in zombies' history. The slow echoing of explosions fit perfectly with the snowy, isolated environment. And for those lucky enough to get the VR-11, another new weapon, the chaos went even deeper. The VR-11 could transform zombies back into humans, or make players temporarily invisible to the undead when shot. It was weird, experimental, and perfect for a map about movies gone wrong. Call of the Dead introduced multiple mechanics that added depth and personality to the game. Zip lines allowed fast travel between key points, a lifesaver when George was raging or when your teammates were across the map. The icy water areas could slow you down and deal damage over time, punishing poor movement but heightening the sense of danger. The map also added a new approach to co-op. Because of its massive scale, communication and coordination were vital. It was the first map that truly punished teams who tried to play separately. It rewarded movement, strategy, and awareness, but you were never safe for long. Call of the Dead's Easter egg was one of the most creative in zombies' history. Instead of centering on the playable characters, the Easter egg focused on helping the original crew, who were trapped behind a locked door in the facility's labs. Throughout the quest, you could hear them arguing, cracking jokes, and giving you instructions. It was surreal. The old and current cast existing side by side. The steps were elaborate for the time, turning dials on the lighthouse, reflecting light beams, activating radios, collecting golden rods, all to help Richtofen retrieve an artifact connected to his mysterious grand plan. When completed, you'd receive the golden rod, a key item that would later appear in the Moon Easter egg, making the first major connection in Zombies' overarching narrative. It was the beginning of something bigger, the first time an Easter egg truly linked maps together. Sonically, Call of the Dead was a masterpiece. The haunting main theme of Not Ready to Die by Avenged Sevenfold captured the perfect mix of desperation and defiance. The crunch of snow, the echo of footsteps, the creak of frozen metal, every sound reinforced the feeling that you were isolated at the edge of the world. Even the voice acting carried its weight. Each celebrity had distinct lines and reactions, making the experience both cinematic and personal. It was part horror, part parody, but all atmosphere, a rare balance few maps have ever matched. When Call of the Dead dropped, the community was stunned. It wasn't just the biggest Zombies map yet, it was the most ambitious. The new cast, the scale, the Easter egg, the boss, the wonder weapons, everything screamed innovation. Some players found it overwhelming at first. The map's size, George's aggression, and the lack of safe spots made it brutally challenging. But over time, players came to appreciate its design. It marked the point where Zombies stopped being a hidden bonus and became the true main attraction. It proved that Zombies could tell stories, break boundaries, and even include real people. It wasn't just a mode anymore. It was an unbelievable experience. Call of the Dead's influence echoes through every Zombies map that came after it. The concept of guest characters returned in later maps, like Dead of the Night or Mob of the Dead. The cinematic presentation became a standard. The integration of real-world figures, unique bosses, and sprawling environments all trace their roots back to this icy nightmare. Even the idea of a map being a movie lived on in future Treyarch and Sledgehammer titles. And for fans, Call of the Dead became a symbol of creativity, proof that the series could surprise them in the best possible ways. Looking back, Call of the Dead stands as a turning point. It didn't just evolve Zombies, it celebrated it. It took everything fans loved, survival, mystery, chaos, and framed it through the lens of cinema, honoring both the game's roots and the man who started it all. The icy wind, the echo of George's roar, the hum of the lighthouse beam cutting through the fog. It all lingers like a memory frozen in time. Call of the Dead wasn't just a map. It was a love letter to the players, to the genre, and to the undead legacy that would keep walking long after the credits rolled. This was Zombies at its most ambitious, most self-aware, and most iconic. And even now, when you hear that faint thunder in the snow, you can almost hear George calling action.
Years ago, I did research for a World War II movie. I came across some old Nazi documents. I couldn't believe what I was reading. Element 115, necromancers, raising the dead, real creepy stuff.
We're completely surrounded! Come on!
The coolest thing? Some of that crazy shit happened right here.
Mira bien, hijo de tu puta madre. Soy Mencho, güey. Relaja tu puta gente a la verga. Soy Mencho, güey. Oh, no cuelgues, hijo de la verga. Te tengo